Hello, and welcome to Book 5, Chapter 11 of You Should Be Reading. For those of you who don't know, I'm now back from vacation. Uh, just a quick little note here before we jump into my book. For this week, I would like to apologize briefly for any lacklusterness in any of my productions. I was trying to get a lot of videos done up so I could have enough to be on vacation and the week after I got back ready to go before I left. And there was technical issues which you probably heard about in some of my earlier videos with sound not being recorded and such. So I had to record a bunch of them again, and I'd just like to apologize for my for anything that may have seemed a little bit off. So, uh, without further ado, we're going to jump right into the book. And today, I'd like to talk to you about "We'll Save the Galaxy for Food" by Yahtzee Croshaw. Now, I've covered both Mogworld and Jam on this little show of mine, and I knew as soon as I found out about this one, I was going to pick it up, I was going to read it, and I was going to cover it. I actually read this on vacation and breezed through it in not long. It is an amazing little sci-fi romp. Now, what it's about is the fact that we have a wonderful little pilot here, who I'm not certain we have the real name of, that we ever find out the real name of. But our pilot here, he used to be a star pilot back in the golden age of star travel when it's very Flash Gordon like in the way it's set up, because back in that golden age, star pilots would go out, travel space to all distant corners, find alien races and planets, save those planets, save the galaxy, and do all the heroics that used to be in those old-fashioned sci-fi serials that we have liked to raid. And see, this was in the golden age. Then came along something called quantum tunneling, which basically made a wormhole go from a doorway to a doorway. So you could get anywhere in the galaxy just by taking a couple steps. So space travel was really much more or less a thing of the past, and a lot of star pilots got more or less out of a job. There wasn't much call for them to be gallivanting off here and there and everywhere. So most star pilots are pretty much just uh, like our hero here, forced to take tourists around to this place and that. And that's where we find him first, taking around some tourists and ending up very likely going to be involved in some legal repercussions because of some amusement with a potentially illegal relationship with a few pirates. Uh, so it's kind of interesting. And he ends up getting approached by a young lady, a very professional young lady named, where is it here? Miss Warden. There we go. He gets approached by this Miss Warden and hires him to take the place of another pilot. See, she'd been in contact with a pilot and was going to pay him a lot of money up front to basically pilot the son of her boss around. Find out the son of her boss, or rather, should I say, you find out her boss is a man named Mr. Henderson, who is involved in a lot of shady dealings back on Earth. A very dangerous man, not a man you want to cross. And his son is, of course, a typical teenager, very much hates his dad and thinks his dad is so embarrassing. Um, and is one of the first mob bosses I've ever seen wearing an ugly Christmas sweater and liking the fact that he wears an ugly Christmas sweater. So points to you, Mr. Croshaw, for that. Uh, but he ends up getting hired, our hero, to take the place of this pilot. And you find out this pilot that she had hired, who never showed up, is none other than Jacques I think it's Jacques McKeown. McKeown. It's hard. McKeown. Um, I'm not sure I've got that pronounced right, but Jacques McKeown, we'll say. This is the pilot. This particular pilot, nobody knows the identity of, but a lot of star pilots want to know the identity of because this Jacques McKeown has written a whole bunch of books and stolen stories from a whole bunch of star pilots in order to write these books. So obviously, is somebody that may be a star pilot or may know a star pilot, but nobody knows who it is. But because they all see this guy is getting rich off of all these book deals and everything, he's the sort of guy that would be extremely endangered by having his identity known. So our hero ends up finding out he's been hired to take his place, and his identity chip has been reprogrammed by Ms. Warden to read as Jacques McKeown. So now he's on the run from star pilots and on the run from his boss, and all kinds of things happen over the course of this book. I don't want to delve too big into it, but that's the setup. That's the premise. He gets hired to be this pilot and take this kid around on a joyride in the worst spaceship imaginable for gallivanting off into deep space. It is quite interesting, to say the least. Very much in keeping with Mr. Crowshaw's usual humor. If you read Mog World and Jam and you liked both, more of that kind of humor is in here, with some very definite kind of deep cuts towards some of the older style heroics and whatnot. I enjoyed the heck out of this book. It is an amazing little book, a very quick read, for me anyways. I breezed through it. It's only about, what? Yeah, about 200 and some pages. 280 some pages. Not long at all. Very breezy read. I enjoyed it immensely. And if you haven't read any Yahtzee Croshaw and you're looking for some kind of sci-fi adventures and comedy and whatnot, this might be a book for you. It is billed as a satirical sci-fi adventure, and it is that to a T. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please give that like button a tap. Give that subscribe button a tap as well if you haven't already, so you can be kept apprised of when I do new videos. And throw a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you know of any other fun comedy sci-fis that you think I might enjoy. Throw those comments in the comment section. Let me know about it. I'd love to get a discussion going with some people. And until next time, remember, you should be reading We'll Save the Galaxy for Food by Yahtzee Croshaw. And I'll see you next time.